Okay. Hello. Um, Hi, everyone. Um, Hi. Hi, Ashley. I'm just getting my shish kebab together. Hello. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Janice. All my humans are gone. They are off in the land. They are living their best life. Cooper was gone this morning. Sawyer has a very big project due tomorrow, so we were working on that last night. Do any of you have kids? This is interesting to me. And every person's different. Like I grew up loving art. Like art was like free time, And my 11-year-old definitely has more of an analytical brain. Like he does not love reading or art. I would say the creatives. And so often, so the school that he goes to, they it kind of seems the way it is, they have 4 big projects a year. That sort of started maybe in 5th grade. So right now he has to make this, it's essentially a scrapbook about this book that he read. This is so up my alley. Like it is taking everything that I have in me to not like dive in and be like, let's do this. Let's do this. Like, I got to go and buy art supplies. Like, I was like so excited. I just love it. And like, he was like, oh, an art project. Oh, I was just chuckling pretty hardcore about that. I'm going to have to move, which makes me really livid. Hey, Barb. If someone can fix the internet where I live, I don't know, I'll do anything. I cannot figure out how I pay for high-speed internet. I pay a ridiculous amount of money to have internet, and it does not work. Could someone just explain this to me? I'm going to go sit on my router. So come on a field trip with me. But I have to go into the cold basement. I just don't get it. Tomorrow, I wanted to share with you guys, and I'll share a link when we're done. I'm speaking for this NYU, I'm speaking virtually at this NYU symposium, and it's for dental professionals, medical professionals, but anyone can watch. And it's really about navigating healthcare in this disability, world. It's free. I'm only speaking for like 10 minutes, but like if that's up your alley, like if you're a dental hygienist or you're a dentist or, or maybe you're a medical professional and you want to learn more about, because I'm going to speak about my thing is very short, but I'm going to speak about barriers to healthcare. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe this, but Cooper has a lot of barriers to healthcare. He just does. It's gotten better, but like he's a tough nut. Like he's a tough nut. And for the first, 10 years of his life, he wouldn't let anyone touch him and try to deliver good healthcare to a child who doesn't want to be touched. And so do I have the answers? Not necessarily, but I can have the conversation. So I'm just going to share about barriers. So I have the link. I'll share it right after. So when we're done, pop on if you want to watch that. It's virtual. You can watch it. It's free to register. And then Thursday, I am hopping on a road trip. I am going to speak to educators in I'm driving about 3 hours away into Wisconsin to speak, and I'm spending the night, which is hard. It's just hard. So I'm like timing it up that I'm going to get there as late. Like I'm not going to leave here till 4. That'll put me there at like 7:30. Speak Friday and then drive back. It's just, I'm at this stage of life where it's really hard for my family when I travel, and I wish it wasn't like that because I need to. This is how I, um, how we live. And so I always feel so conflicted when I do it, when I travel, and I have some travel coming up. I'm going to I can actually tell you where I'm going. Do you guys wanna know where I'm going? To hear if you guys wanna hear me speak, I can tell you. Let me find it. I love, love, love sharing our story. So if you, are in one of these places, you can typically come hear me speak. So I am going to let me tell you, I'm gonna be in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. I'm going to Chicago, San Diego, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Texas, and Indiana. That's up until next October. So that's a lot of travel. I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous. Jennifer, I have spoken in Virginia twice. I have spoken in South Hill, Virginia, which I know is not necessarily, I mean, it's a big state, but I'm going to Chicago in February. I'm going to fly to Chicago and then to San Diego. Oh, and travel. Yes, I am so excited. I'm going to Thunder Bay next week. Indiana, Angela, I'm going to be in Fort Wayne, and that is next October. And that's with a friend of mine has an organization called My Autism Ally, and she's going to be putting on a conference. So that's going to be a really fun one. Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I know a lot of people, so just a little bit about speaking, like if you're interested. So I typically speak to parent groups, a lot to educators, medical professionals, groups like that, or autism conferences, motherhood conferences. If you want to have me speak, I love it. I adore it. How it works is typically you would connect with your school district, or you would connect with like a group, like a autism clinic or something, and you would inquire about having me as a speaker. Texas is so Deb, Texas is San Antonio, Texas, and that's my retreat. That's my More Than Project retreat. That one is next May, and that one Adrian and Carrie are going to be at. So it'll be Adrian, Carrie, and me, and that is going to be open to everybody. It's the first time we've had a retreat open to everybody. That one's May 7th, 15th to the 17th. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. It's going to be so fun. Our events are really, really lovely. So that'll be right after our book comes out, Autism Out Loud, and all three of us are going to speak. We'll be keynote speakers for that. Yes, Angela, definitely. Grab a group. That's the other thing. So one thing like that I've learned is like, let's say I'm speaking, like I just spoke in South Hill, Virginia. There were groups of moms that just like grabbed friends and came and like made a weekend out of it. That's so fun. I think about how different the beginning of my autism journey would have been if there would have been groups. There just wasn't. There really wasn't. There was barely even Facebook groups. It's very different now, and I'm thankful that families and parents are rallying together. It's just so much better. So much better than it was. What did I say for my topic? Okay. So I wanted to tell you a story. And it's kind of an emotional story. I would find it in my book and read it to you word for word if I could find it, but I don't think I can. So I'm going to tell it to you. I'm just going to do one gander in this book. I'll never find it. I was talking to my friend this morning about how, and we both have sons with autism. Cooper definitely has more severe needs than her son, but we were talking about, and we were saying something to each other about how could you ever imagine Cooper, like what would his voice sound like? And so she was saying the same thing about her son. Like, I cannot imagine truly what Cooper's voice would sound like. The way that he has pretty severe apraxia and then autism, and so when he makes sounds, they're beautiful and wonderful, but they're very like robotic, and honestly, like a lot of his sounds. This is interesting. If you have a child with apraxia, you'll know this. Like if he really starts like speaking and getting worked up, his sounds will actually come out of his nose. I can't even mimic it because I don't know how to do it. But like, let's say he's really worked up. Like, let's say he's like, it'll eventually, that's mom. It'll get higher and higher. And like the sound, like, will eventually be like, I can't do it. So I've never heard him have a speech, really, truly, honestly, a speech like sound. And the second part of that sentence is, I don't really ever really think about it. I don't really ever think about him having a speech like sound just because he's Cooper. He's uniquely made. And so our conversation was like, could you ever imagine our kids talking? And I was like, no. I really truly can say to you in full honesty, at this point at age 13, I cannot imagine like Cooper coming in the house and being like, "Hey mom, what's for dinner?" Like something that's typically Sawyer's first sentence every day. Mom, what's for dinner? Every day. Like I I can't fathom it. Or like Cooper being like, I'm gonna go out to play, or I'm gonna ride my bike, or I can't imagine those things. That's just not who he is. And so my girlfriend and I, and if you have a friend like this, like we just had this like beautiful conversation this morning, like, you know, what would it be like? There's a girl in our life who is 2 months younger than Cooper. So she's going to be 14. She'll be 14 soon. And she, when I talked with her last time, like a 14-year-old girl, I am telling you, it was like talking to an adult. Like she could have talked about like any topic. She can stay home alone. She takes care of herself. She washes her own clothes. She makes her own food. Like I was like talking to another adult, and it's just there's these times where it's like so bizarre to be like, is that what it would be like? So the story, one of the most, I'm going to call it like sucker punch, like one of the most sucker punch moments of my entire life. We had just moved into a new neighborhood, and maybe we'd been there for a little bit. And this boy came to the door, and this story is in here. It is 100% true. It's about a boy in our old neighborhood who looks exactly like Cooper. The only difference is he's taller. He looks exactly like Cooper. And I knew of him. Like his mom's a sped teacher. They're just like the nicest family. And so he came to the door and rang the doorbell, and I answered the door, and he's like, "Hi, can Sawyer come play?" And I don't know where this came from, you guys. I don't know if it could ever happen again, but it was like a movie scene where everything that could have been like flashed through my eyes. It was like boom, 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 boom. And I like froze. And I was like, Cooper going to the door asking a kid to play, Cooper speaking, Cooper riding a bike, Cooper going outside to play, Cooper having friends. Like it was like boom, 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 boom. And I had to turn around and put my back to him because I was crying so hard. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. Sawyer, your friend's here." And Sawyer, ran out to play. And I don't know what the future holds. None of us do, right? Like, I don't know what the future holds. We don't know any of that, but I cannot imagine a world, I think this is pretty realistic. I try to always take this necklace off. I try to always be realistic. I cannot imagine a world where Cooper says, "I'm gonna go outside and play." I just I don't think it's ever gonna happen, and here's the weird part about it. I'm o I'm okay. Hi, Leanne. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay with Cooper never going out, and, I've done the work. I'm totally fine. I'm fine. But there's these moments, and I think we should just talk about them more. And so my friend this morning was saying that she was out with a group and there was all these 11-year-old boys, and she's like, "I didn't know what 11-year-old boys were like." And that's what happens to me. Like, I live in this. So just for context, so my child with autism is 13. He'll be 14 next month. So I mean he's very close to 14. And I have a neurotypical son who's 11. It's not apples to apples in their development. It just never has been. It's apples to lasagna. Like, it's just there's no comparison. So we just don't. They're each growing up at their own pace in their own beautiful way. They're doing their own things. Like, Sawyer or Cooper, hi Shirley. Cooper doesn't, speak or read or do math, or it's just so different. And it took me a long time to be okay with that. And I am. You guys, I'm great. I'm great, just like so many of you are. But there's these moments where it's just like you live in this bubble. We live in this autism world bubble. And where I'm going, my point with this is even when I'm in the 11-year-old neurotypical world, it's so different from Cooper that there's no comparison. So seeing 11-year-olds, way leapfrog Cooper in development, it doesn't make me sad because Cooper's not 11. Like, it doesn't make me sad. But if I see, like, when I go to conferences and I see 8th grade boys, God, it hurts so bad. It hurts. You can feel physical pain. I don't know if it can be measured, but you can feel it. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, I guess where I'm going with that is that, have you ever thought, have any of you ever thought about, like, what it would be like if your child could talk, or if your child could be outside alone? Or mine is like, what if Cooper looked at me and he's like, "Hey mom, I'm going to bike to the store." And I'd be like, "Okay, take your phone." I cannot imagine it. So anyhow, I just, find an autism friend that you can talk to and have these conversations. It's really healthy. It is. I was reading through my new book yesterday. I was doing the final edit. I found 4 issues in the final edit. I think we're done with my part. And I was reading through it, and there's this part in my new book that I just love, that I'm really proud of it. When I write, I try to paint pictures. So, like, I want you to be able to picture it. And I talked about how in the beginning of my autism journey, I'm told by these professionals that my son's never going to talk and make a friend and ride a bike and hit a baseball. He's never going to live independently. I'm told all these awful things, right? And when I would try to share them with people, I'd be told weird things. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. Like, I mean, I can, like, legit tell you, like, I was told, like, get over it. It could be worse. Move on. Like, really, people say these things. And so I learned pretty early on that people didn't like me sad. And this happens a lot to women, I think. Like, I'm the mom. I set the emotional barometer for the house. So, like, I need to be happy and I need to smile and I need to do the laundry and make the dinner and smile, smile, smile. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. If mom melts down, the whole house melts down. I'll take it as far as if in my marriage, you guys, this is my marriage. If I crumble, my husband out crumbles. It very rarely happens, but it's something that I have to be really aware of. Is this the thing that I'm going to crumble over? Because people just can't handle it in our house. And so I really learned to, and I'll use the word mask, but I don't know if that's the right word. I learned to really like hide from my feelings and like shove them way down deep. So the way I describe it in this new book is I had these backpacks, these invisible backpacks. And every time something would happen, I would put it in my backpack. Like, I'm sad about this, and I'm angry about this, and I'm jealous about this, and I would put it in my backpack. I wouldn't even feel it. I would just be like, I don't have time for that right now. I know that there's a boy the same age that's talking and telling me his birthday list. I don't have time for this backpack. And I will tell you that when I hit my lowest point, I didn't even recognize myself. Like, I was like hunched over. I'm serious. I was like big bags under my eyes. I was pale. I was hunched over. Autism was so hard. There was no help. There's no help. I had no support. I'd pushed everyone away. Cooper wasn't sleeping. His behaviors were so challenging. We were knocking on the door of aggression and self-injuring. And I fell. I fell under the weight. I couldn't carry it anymore. And what crashing, what falling did to me, and there's so much more to the story that, I I hit my I hit my lowest point. And what it forced me to do is unpack my backpacks and sit in my grief and just being, and I was angry and I was sad and I was jealous and I was mad and I was frustrated, and I unpacked everything. And I'll tell you, it was probably the most powerful part of my life. And I lost a lot of people. I did. They didn't like me sad. They didn't want to deal with it. I think they were fine to be the good time friends. They were fine to be the good time aunts and uncles, but when the rubber meets the road, are you going to sit in the trenches with me? And I have a lot of people that didn't want to sit in the trenches with me. And so that was a byproduct of unpacking my suitcases. And we could say that that's a positive because I lost people that weren't really in it with me, but losing people that are supposed to be in it with you is really hard. Boundaries are really hard. Boundaries are real hard. Boundaries are hard around the holidays. Wowzers, are boundaries hard. But like I just had no more time. I had no more time for people that I had to pretend to be happy around. There's the sentence. I would have to say things like, I'd have to like, Cooper, it was so bad. And every day it was another phone call from a therapist or a teacher, or this behavior, or this is happening. And I would have to like downplay it for people. I'd have to say things like, well, this happened today, but it's okay. Don't worry, it's okay. When the thing is, really, it wasn't okay. And I needed the people that I could sit with and say, this is not okay. I don't know when it's getting better. Isn't it interesting? It's so fascinating. Um, I don't know. So I guess I just we had an incident happen on the bus yesterday, and the incident itself was isolated, But what it did was it opened up this fear for me, this fear of police involvement and this fear of misunderstood autism. And I shared this a lot with my supporters last night. It's one of those topics that I don't like just to talk about widely. It scares me. And it's just interesting, like, I don't know if it's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna make it okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna do it, but will it be okay in here? Um, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. And so my homework for you, as cheesy as it is, what's in your suitcases? What's in your backpacks? Are you feeling it or are you hiding it to make everyone else's life more comfortable? There's a sentence. Are you downplaying your very real struggles and realities to make other people feel comfortable? And I'm still doing it today. So I'm no saint, guys. I'm still doing it today, but I'm really trying not to. I just read something yesterday, and I'm gonna butcher this, but this is fascinating. Oh my gosh. You will always go back. I'm butchering this, but like you will always go back to an uncomfortable situation over a comfortable change. So break that down. Essentially, what it's saying is your nervous system and who you are has been in an uncomfortable situation for so long that you will stay in it because it's more comfortable than trying something new. That is me in a nutshell. That should be on a t-shirt for me. I It is insane when I say it out loud. I will stay in uncomfortable situations because the thought of changing scares me more. Like, if you told me that, I'd be like, "Let me help you, friend. Let's break this down. How can I help you? How do we get you to this new place?" And me, I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'll stay right here. I will suffer in silence because I'm not changing." Oh, it's fascinating. Like, it is fascinating. Yeah. Okay, I have a bunch of work and errands to do. Thank you all for being here. Um, I was also gonna tell you that I Zoom with my just as another option, I Zoom with my Substack group, every other week, pretty much, and I have, a couple Zooms today. So if you would like to learn how to Zoom with me, it's just groups and we just talk about different topics. I really, really enjoy it. Go check out my Substack. It's Finding Cooper's Voice. It's my newsletter. Today we're talking about, I think, extended family and then maybe isolation. I just like talking with people. It really helps me to share and talk. So thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Maybe I'll try and get Cooper to do a video tonight. Oh, we have Autism Out Loud tonight on the trifecta on, I don't know whose page it's on, but I'll find out. Okay. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.